Well, Tom, this is the third time we've tried to film this. It's like pulling teeth trying to interview you. And to tell you the truth, I was so excited, I haven't changed my shirt since the interview with Chad.
Okay. That's a lot of excitement. I don't blame you. Let's see, we were interrupted. We had phones ringing, people knocking on the door, somebody else yelling upstairs, and me going over by 15 minutes over our 15. I ended up with a 30-minute interview. So let's give this a try for the folks. It's exciting for me, and I get excited and I want to try to answer in great detail how I did some of this stuff. And only because I'm happy with it. So let's try it again. Ask me a question.
All right, Tom. Well, you are indeed the co-owner with your wife, Deb Finkbeiner of Wolf's Store and Slate Run Tackle Shop. But probably not too many people know that you are also the founder and president of the Brown Trout Club. So how's a busy guy like you stay on top and start this Brown Trout Club?
That question takes place a long, long time ago. Actually, the idea that I got in my mind started in the mid to late 50s when my family owned a camp in Snowshoe, and we would go to the camp and we would go to Fisherman's Paradise. And it was kind of ridiculous. We look back on it, and you had to go in. You could only go 3 times a year, and you had to sign up, and you'd get a big badge, and you put the badge. They'd blow a whistle, and everybody would start roll casting. But, it burned trout into my memory at that point. I don't know how old I was. It might have been 57, 58. I might have been 10 or 11 years old. But I had a Knoll fly tying kit and a 10.5-foot Kingfisher fly rod and an Ocean City fly reel, and I loved fly fishing, and up till then I did it in farm ponds, and then I was doing it for trout, and I could see trout. Of course, at that age, I don't know how tall I was, but I saw trout in there that were half as long as I was, and it was exciting, and that kind of burned in. I saw the excitement in the people, although the conditions. Today we look back and we really would laugh about something like that. You were literally so close together. Sometimes you had a hard time getting a rod around a roll cast.
Yeah.
But it burned something into my mind that I could never get away from. I love trout fishing. I love where trout live, the environment that they live in, and I love their feeding habits and everything about a trout stream. So that burned into my memory. I went in the Marine Corps for 4 years, got out of there, didn't know what to do, worked for the Bell System for 13 years. That was a great company. They treated me wonderfully, but it wasn't what I wanted. So Deb and I decided to do this store. So we got together and formed our little business, and we took off. So we fished. Up till then, I had a lot of time on Pine Creek as a visitor to the valley, and we used to catch a brown trout in Pine Creek. We called them Pine Creekers, and they weren't huge. They were 14 to 16 inches, but they were like footballs. They were heavy. As soon as you set the hook in the one, you knew that it was one because they had a very distinct bulldogging down to the bottom. Then they'd lay there and soak because they didn't have what else to do. So we missed those fish. As trout fishing got more and more popular on Pine Creek, people were killing those fish. They were taking them home. They were gorgeous looking fish. So people, kept harvesting them, which was legal, and but we missed them. So I had the great idea that I would find hatcheries and start to stock and try to help boost this population of these bigger trout. So I searched, found a really good hatchery outside Boston, Moore's Run Hatchery, and they do an incredible good job. They handpick each fish they're going to draw eggs from. I mean, they really raise them in mud-bottom ponds. They're fully finned, just gorgeous specimens. So I started to buy those. I raised funds Every now and then I'd grab an Orvis outfit and I'd put it up on the wall, sell raffle tickets, I'll take the money, go buy trout, and put the trout in. And people loved that. They responded extremely well. Lots and lots of fun. But then there was a group that, you know, it's not hard to catch a big brown trout. It's only hard to catch a big brown trout if you put restrictions on yourself. Mm-hmm. If you say, okay, I'm going to go out and fish for big browns, but I'm only going to do it with a fly rod, I'm only going to do it with barbless hooks, I'm only going to, and each time you add another I'm only going to, you make it more and more difficult.
Oh, yeah.
There's very simple methods to go legally go catch big brown trout. Well, we had a group that would follow. They knew where we stocked, when we stocked, and within a week they'd kill all the fish. So you're dealing with an animal that has a brain the size of a pea, a French pea, a very small brain. So it's not a big deal to outfox one. It only gets tricky when you start putting restrictions on how you're going to do it. Mm-hmm. So it turned out to be popular, but like I said, they were getting harvested immediately. So I started pushing for a delayed harvest so we could at least fish over them for a period of time. And we, of course, were told that we would never get a delayed harvest on Pine Creek. It was too wide, too warm, too big. And any of us that spent a lot of time on Pine knows that in this general area, because of all the mountain freestoners flowing into it, there's holding ponds, there's holding pod area around here. There's springs that come in certain sections of the area on the bottom. We have a whole lot of water, spring water coming in on the west side. So the west side holds brown trout pretty well. So we were pretty thrilled with our delayed harvest, and we'd load the fish up, and then the water would warm up. It always does. And of course they'd get to the mouth of the feeders, and within 2 weeks, just like the Fish Commission said, well, they all died. Well, they did, but they didn't die because of the hot water. They died because they were cornered, and it was legal to kill them.
Yeah.
So we pushed. We had pretty good financial support, so we pushed to get a no-kill trout here. Well, that was. It actually, in the end, it was received very well by a lot of people, but there was a very vocal core of people, some mostly local people, who did not want it. And I'm not quite sure why, but these fish swim out of the protected area. It's not like you can never kill or harvest the fish again. But at any rate, we won the letter writing campaign to get a delayed harvest or a no-kill area, and extended out to 2.8 miles. So there was over 1,000 letters in support, less than 50 opposed. But what we noticed in the less than 50, all the people that griped about it didn't gripe about they could no longer kill fish, that they couldn't use the tackle they wanted. Mm-hmm. So it seemed like a no-brainer. Okay, let's use all tackle.
Yeah. Now
that offended some fly fishermen, but any of us that fly fish a lot and over a long period of time, you see a lot of big fish killed on fine tippets. You know, the people play them and play them and play them and play them and play them on 7X tippet, and they roll over, and that's the end of them. So I don't want to get into who kills more fish, fly fishermen. Fish die, like the trees die, everything dies sooner or later.
Yeah.
But the whole idea of this is to fish over a good population of trout, a good healthy population. Can you do it in the heat of August? No, you can't. It's legal to go to the mouths and feed and fish there. You're going to kill fish when you do it. They're going to swim out to try to get free. Mm-hmm. They're going to go into the 85-degree water and die.